All right, we are live. So, welcome to the collective. Today, we are going to go over defining your marketing avatar. And for those of you that don't know what an avatar is, what this means is your pinpoint exact persona or person you're targeting as an audience. And this person isn't real, but it definitely contains all the basic information for you to effectively target the correct people with your marketing. And within your company, you don't necessarily just have a single avatar. Sometimes you have two, three, four, five, and six of them. And once we dig in, this will make a ton more sense to you. But something's going on. Hold on, guys. We have a little technical issue. Please hold.
Please hold.
Yeah. All right. It seems our streaming is a little dinked up. Okay. I think we fixed it. Okay. So back to what we were saying. They're like offline.
I'm seeing that too on
Yeah.
mine.
I don't know why this isn't working. See if
Well,
I update it if it works. No. This is a problem. What the heck? Of course. Of course this is all going to happen right now.
what the heck, girl?
I don't know.
It's not your fault.
What the heck?
What is that meme? Who is that? It's a little kid, right? What the heck? What did they
What
say?
the heck? Yeah. All right. I don't know what's going
Little
on.
child, Chica.
If all skills, we will repost this. We'll repost this on Facebook later because I do not know what's going on and I don't know how to fix it. So carrying on. So you may have more than one avatar for your business. What that means is you may be targeting a 35 to 45-year-old woman who's into fitness. And then you also may be targeting a 20 to 30-year-old male that's into fitness. And you may also be targeting 65-year-old plus that's into fitness. If you're like a gym, you probably have programs that target all these people, but you want to target your marketing specifically to speak to those people because if you speak to all of them at one time, when you speak to everybody, you speak to nobody. So you want to be sure in your messaging that you're very clear on who your target market is, and you may have multiple and then run multiple ads or multiple campaigns so that each segment of your market gets targeted and spoken to directly because the more personalized and more directly you speak to them, the better this stuff works. So I'm just going to go ahead and share a screen on what an avatar form looks like. And if anybody wants this, you can just ask me for it. I just have to find it here real quick.
I think you can even put it if you want to on the Facebook uploads.
I
Like
will. I'll definitely do that as well. So this, can you guys see this okay?
Yes.
This is a marketing avatar worksheet. And you give these names. So you'll call her Workout Wanda or Pump and Iron Phil or something like that. You give them a funny name because it's not a real person. It's just a real person group. You're going to want to really dig in to maybe your top 10 customers in each segment if you have customers already and see what they have in common. Are they married? Are they raising children? Where are they located? How educated are they? What kind of job do they have? Are they a C-suite executive, or are they a blue collar worker, or are they a stay-at-home mom? What is their general income if you have that information? And then you dig into things like what are their goals and values. Some people have a certain political value. Some people have a certain religious value. Some people have a certain family value, and you want to understand if they have common values. If they're into CrossFit, they're a different person than the person who is into jazzercise, for example. And so you want to really dig into like what do they value as people and what are their goals as it pertains to the product that you're offering. You also want to dig into their pain points because the only way you can speak to somebody in a meaningful way to get them to want to do business with you is if you solve a problem. And the bigger the problem, the easier it is for them to determine if they want to work with you. So you have to understand like what holds them back from making this decision. And then also, what are their pain points? For example, with coaching, which all of us are aware of, when you're coaching, a lot of times it's the pain of staying stuck has to overrule the pain of getting help. And so you have to know that in order to help people make the decision to come work with you. If you're in a gym, right, they have to be unhappy with themselves to such an extent that they're willing to make the sacrifice to start working out on a regular basis, because it's change, and change is not easy. So you have to really dig into those like objections and pain points. And just to be fair, it very rarely is money. Money is just an easy excuse. Because we all know that people in backed into a corner about money, and I unfortunately like to use the term of drug addicts, they have no resources. They have no home, they have no job, they have no car, they have no resources whatsoever, but somehow they still manage to get drugs. If they can do that, most people can as well for things that they really want or need. So it's very rarely a money objection. It's something else holding them back. And it's usually fear, imposter syndrome. They aren't uncomfortable enough. There's a lot of things along that bent. Like Jen, for example, what are some fears you see that hold people back, or pain points that hold them back?
Wow, good question. Fear that holds people back, a lot of it is uncertainty.
Yeah.
Right. And the biggest thing is, as a human being, our growth is actually in stepping into the fear and uncertainty, because that is how we grow as a human being. That's how we evolve. So if you look at personal relationships or even business, the biggest thing with people in business is they, like mom and pop shops, you see them just flatline, right? Because it's like, I want to grow, but if I grow, what happens? What do I need to do? It's that uncertainty around it. So they'd rather just stay the same as they are forever and just keep that way. And that's the same as you as a human being. It's like, I want to stay in this relationship, or I want to stay in this thing just because it's not what's best for me, but it's comfortable.
Yeah, and Kat, what do you see, especially with people in finance, right? Because you're heavy in the finance area. What do you see with people holding themselves back with money?
Oh God, that was really, really good, Jen Carrasco. I gotta tell you, fear. I mean, I almost could double down on that, because people are afraid of money too. They're afraid of making it. They're afraid of how to spend it. Think about the solopreneur who's opening their business for the first time. They're wearing 25 different hats. They figured out their own customer avatar. They're starting to grow and scale that business, right? They may not know the right ways to spend or allocate a marketing budget, and have that fear of money. Are they going to make the right next step on how to grow their business? So I would say fear is a huge, huge part of it, and can span every wing of what you experience as a business owner. I'd have to double down on that. That's well said.
And then Lynn, since you're here, tell us about what fear you've experienced when deciding to make a large purchase. Like, what things have you felt as a consumer that have led you to be scared of making that decision? You're on mute, by the way, so you have to unmute yourself. There you
go. As far as money,
yeah, money, yeah.
I guess my fear is more like the imposter syndrome type thing. As I'm doing these and I'm growing businesses, I go more for that. Like, I get that self-doubt, all that kind of fear is more what's driving me not to do things sometimes outside of my comfort zone. So that is the thing. I don't usually have any problem investing money into things. So it's not the money that ever is deterrent for me. It's more my own self talk, I think. And wanting to be 100% sure before I trudge forward. And it's like, I need to sometimes just make that decision and go, instead of always trying to evaluate everything right down to the minute.
Maybe evaluating like this.
Sometimes I just
go wrong.
Yes.
Right.
Because I get into analysis paralysis, they call it, because I will analyze something to the point of, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get there? And then I never make a move to do it. Yep. So I'm getting better with, it might not be perfect, just do it. And then it'll get better as you go. Like, you can make it better as you go. You don't have to have it perfect before you start. So that's been a big thing I've been working with.
That's beautiful. That's like fear of failure, right? Fear of not being perfect. And then what is that? What do we internalize that means about us if we're not perfect?
Yes. Yes. And I don't want to let people down. I think it's even that, like, I don't want to let my people down, or my, customers down or whatever, or my teammates specifically. Yeah. And I get into these situations where I become a leader and I then go, wait, how did I get here? What do I do now?
That's real.
Isn't that beautiful? Because that's growth.
Yes.
Right?
It is.
Like I'm stepping into the unknown, but within the unknown is going to make me a better person. And the biggest thing that I tell, even with ourselves, like we have failed hard sometimes in the electrical company, but the biggest fail is our biggest learning that makes us so much better to grow.
Yes.
Right?
That's
and
so
money,
true.
Money comes in and out. So we're always going to have money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason we got off track with this is that when you as a business are trying to market yourself to other businesses and other people, they have these same fears and the same things that hold them back from making a purchasing decision. And so as long as you can put yourself in their shoes and understand that your fears and their fears are almost always the same, it's very rarely about money. That's why you have to dig into those pain points and dig into those fears when you're doing your avatar worksheet. And it doesn't hurt to do a poll of people. You can ask people, what would prevent you from doing this? What's holding you back? Like what, pain are you experiencing that's preventing this from happening, so that you fully understand that pain point? Because that is the key to customer avatars, is understanding what is the pain and how are you going to fix that? Or what does your product do to fix it? Or so on and so forth. And so that's why we kind of got off on that little tangent, is because that is the important part of this. And then you further define what are their goals and values, and like where do they hang out and what do they do, so you can find them. So that's the big section in the middle here, where you can see the challenges and the challenges and the pain points right here, is something you really need to dig into and be thoughtful and ask people. And don't be afraid to ask your target that you think your target is, because this will define the rest of your avatar. And then finally, you go into the sources of information. What is this going to lead you to? What books do they read? What magazines do they read? Where do they hang out on blogs and websites? What conferences do they go to? Is there a guru that they follow? And anything else you can find about them? Because this source of information down here at the bottom is where you find the people you want to do business with. So once you understand who they are, then you understand what they're trying to achieve. And finally, you look into the pain that keeps them from making a move, and you got to understand that. And then how do you solve that pain for them, and then go find them in the sources of information. Does that make sense to you guys? Awesome. We have another joiner. Hang tight just a sec. There's my friend Jason. Hey, Jason.
Hey, gang.
Sorry about that. Our Facebook link broke, so we're going to repost this, but thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Yeah. So digging into this, and Jason is an insurance agent owner. What are you, Jason?
I own an independent insurance agency.
So you may think, and we're going to use Jason as an example, you may think that everybody is his customer because everybody needs insurance. But within that scheme of people who everybody needs insurance, I'm sure there are certain people that he aligns with better than other people. So an avatar is very rarely ever everybody that needs insurance, because everybody needs it. It could be business owners insurance. It could be farm insurance. It could be people with a certain price of home. It could be people with multiple cars and boats. It could be all kinds of things. So it's also important that you really dig down into everybody needs insurance, but it's deeper than that, because not only does this avatar define who you are looking for to work with, but it should define who you like to work with, or the people that you have the most opportunity with as well. Because this is for both sides. It isn't just about who wants to do business with you, but also who you want to do business with. Because if you're digging into everybody, even if it's in a niche like insurance, it's not everybody, because you don't want to serve everybody, and not everybody can be served by you. So it's important that you also dig in and be more specific about who it is within that broad realm of people that you actually want to work with. So one of the niches that I focus on is weight loss, right? But weight loss is huge, because there's medical weight loss, there's, using the gym and a personal trainer and a nutritionist weight loss. There is natural weight loss. There is medically injected weight loss. So there's a huge broad range of kinds of weight loss, right? So if I said weight loss in general, the chances of me being really good at helping those people is not as great as if I say, I really want to work with the companies that do weight loss via the injectable weight loss. It has its own group of problems that maybe other industries don't have. For example, there's a lot of regulation there. There's a lot of rules with Facebook and Google about how you can do their ads. There's a lot of things you can and cannot say. There's the huge risk of being banned if you don't follow the rules on Facebook, and then you never have an account again, so on and so forth. And so we've cracked the nut, and we've worked with some legal professionals to be able to market them without, very little fear of getting banned, and also to get them like, say a 60% booking rate. But that is because I narrowed it down from everybody who does weight loss into a very, very specific group of people that market their weight loss products and how to market them. Don't just, in this case, we don't just market them to everybody that wants to lose weight. We actually have a very specific avatar, and it's middle-aged, high-income earning women, i.e. me. I am their avatar, weirdly enough. But it's somebody that has recurring revenue to such an extent that I can continue to pay them. I go to the gym, I work out, I eat right, but I'm trying really hard and not getting the traction I want. And I have that wherewithal and commitment to continue even when it's hard, and my expectations are a little more realistic because I'm not trying to lose 5 pounds to go to a wedding. I'm trying to make a complete lifestyle change, right? And so that's what you have to do for your avatar as well, is dig in there and understand, like in Jason's case, who do I want to work with to provide insurance for them? Who are my favorite people? Are they committed to having the coverage that they need? Are they committed to long-term growth? I'm not sure in Jason's case if he offers alternative products like life insurance and stuff like that. He actually is my insurance agent also, but I'm not sure if he offers those alternative things. But there's a lot of opportunity if you get the right segment of people who have more disposable income and want to invest their money and all things like that. So it's important to really dig in and understand this and spend the time to think about who the heck is your avatar and how are you going to reach them? And then how are you going to get more of them with referral programs and review programs and things like that? Do either you, Jason or Lynn, have any questions about any of that?
No, sounds good, Jen.
Yeah, sounds good. What about the rest of you guys? Any things you guys want to interject about this?
Well, one of the things I was thinking about is, your specific, it depends on cost per lead, because a lot of times, a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense for me for auto insurance or home insurance. I don't really make that much money. But life insurance, I make up front anyway, probably triple. Okay. So cost per lead, I would probably do something more in the life insurance realm than the car insurance realm, because I get eaten up by Progressive and Geico own, they're always on Google and the television. I can't keep up with them, right? Because
Sure.
I'm not going to make that much money. But life insurance is a different segment, so it kind of depends on what product I'm selling. I don't know if everybody here sells a different product or different products, but I have a lot of different products that I sell, a lot of different types of insurance. So it
Right.
would depend on that.
That's why you would have, again, those multiple avatars. So you'd have an avatar for auto insurance, and then you'd figure out what your competitive advantage is and where you can market this in a way that it's affordable and it makes sense, right? So maybe advertising for auto insurance does not make sense for you, but perhaps a referral program or organic outreach program or something like that would make more sense. So this avatar also helps you figure that out. And with your higher income producing things like life insurance, you define an avatar for that person. And obviously they're probably going to add on all the other insurances. If you get them for one, you usually get them for most. But in this case, it would make sense to advertise for life insurance, but not as much sense to advertise for the other ones, because the barrier to entry and the cost and the ROI would be very low, unless you pinpoint targeted those people to sell them into other stuff. So it's a whole campaign that goes into this, but this is like the step one, so you can fully understand that. And then you do your marketing math. So you understand like what's higher ROI, what's their lifetime value, how much can you spend to acquire the person, what's the likelihood and the path to upsell and downsell them into other products that are cash producing. So there's a whole other formula that goes on into that. And if you guys are interested, we can do another live about what marketing math looks like. so that better people can better understand, like, how do you afford to spend money on something like car insurance when the ROI is so stinking low and there's a lot of competition, to get them in a buy path with email marketing and other such outreach that increases their lifetime value so that it makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. Love it.
Yeah, of course you do, Kat, because this is dorky math stuff.
This is such dorky math, marketing operations. It's really powerful, guys. When you understand your customer avatar, you understand exactly how to speak to them. You affirm your authority in knowing their problems, their issues, and why they need to trust in you. This is so, so, so important. And the geeky math stuff, I just wrote it in the comments. What you're answering is, what return will they get you? What return will you get them? And that's really, really important to understand in a business customer relationship. It's good stuff, Jen. Keep dropping the sauce.
Is this different than the tea? Eh. Just kidding.
Just your preference, you know?
Just kidding. So guys, like the biggest thing you have to understand is there's a lot of psychology behind doing this, and it isn't just as cut and dried as, do I do marketing? Do I not do marketing? Because everything you do, when you go network, that's marketing. When you put a post up on Facebook, that's marketing. Like everything you do in your business, if you understand who your avatars are, you can shape your messaging everywhere you go, whether it's free or paid, to meet that avatar's needs. And then you can drum up business in that manner as well. You'll see that we as a group, if you look at any one of our 3 Facebook pages, you'll see what we do, who we do it for, why we're doing it. Almost in every post that we do. Obviously, we drop our personal tidbits in here and there, but each and every one of us has a pretty clearly defined avatar of like, who the heck do we want to work with and how do we speak to them? And we speak to them even on the free platforms. And that's really a really good jumping point. And just a little secret, not secret, if you use your personal profile, you have so much more reach than if you use a business page. Business pages reach is very diminished by Facebook. One of the best things you can do is use your personal profile to push people into a group and then get the group started talking and doing things like this for people, because you'll have far greater reach than if you try to use a business page. Business page pretty much is just for advertising. You just need some stuff there. It's not going to be the generator of business for you that you had hoped it would be, because Facebook has squashed their reach very low, and it just kind of chills and serves as social proof, more of a branding piece, less of a sales piece or a community piece. So the best option, once you know your avatar and you want to speak to them, is to have it on your personal Facebook and then push them to some kind of group where you create community and then people can talk about stuff. So just a little tidbit side slice for you guys all out there watching this now. What other questions or thoughts do we have here? No, silence. We're good. Nobody wants to talk. Jason, do you want to talk? You're on mute.
You could ask us anything, guys. We've been doing this for decades. I'm serious.
Marketing is not my forte.
But the psychology of people is your forte.
Amen.
Therefore, marketing is your forte, because marketing is psychology, basically.
Yes,
Marketing is people, guys. Love it.
It's the internet portion of it. So in EOS, when I go over the marketing strategy, we do it differently. So we hit the avatar, but we don't hit it specific like you do for marketing for lead gen, right? We take it and say, okay, what are your 3 uniques? You know, what is the, not necessarily the pain point, but what is it as far as your client that you are having coming in? So for residential electric, it'd be residential electric. Okay, what are your 3 uniques? What makes you the same as all your competitors? What makes you 50% different? And what makes you 100% different, right? So we hit it from a different avenue as far as like a major company, not as a lead gen. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Because that's like really truly defining your brand, who you are.
Yes.
And then finding alignment with who you want to work with, which is the second part to what we talked about. It's not just who will work with you, but it's also who do you want to work with? Because I mean, everybody here, Jason included, has had a PETA customer, right? Pain in the customer that like you find more of them and you'd rather jump off a cliff than have to deal with that all day. They maybe pay you well. They maybe fit into your ideal customer, but you just do not want to work with them because it's like stabbing yourself in the brain with an ice pick because they're not fun. You have to take that into consideration when defining your avatar because there may be a group of people that makes you a lot of money, but you just truly do not want to work with them because they suck. Has everybody here done that? Has everybody worked with somebody that makes you want to stab yourself in the face?
And I learned that the hard way, and now I just fire them. Quick.
Yeah, I fired many. And that's why I actually bought the insurance with the website. It's coming out here in the next couple of months, but it's insurancefornicepeople.com because I'm sick of dealing with this.
That's good. It's good marketing.
So thank you. And that kind of takes my target market, right?
Yeah.
Just by my website. So
yeah, it definitely is. And Lynn does some multi-level marketing stuff. And so imagine probably the amount of Karens she gets to deal with on any given day.
I've been pretty lucky, but I have a couple. When you said that, I had a vision of a person when you said stab your head with ice pick.
Yeah,
definitely
fire that person if you can.
I've tried every way. I've been rude to her and she still comes back and she spends money. And I'm like, ugh.
You know what I learned in the skincare industry? So when I owned a couple skincare clinics, it was so funny is that the customers that are kind of a Karen, if you're rude to them, they like it. Like they like it. And so for me, I actually started a game and it was like, fine, you can come in and spend your money and you can be an ass and I'm going to be right back at you. And I felt like that actually got more traction. Like it was fun. It was like, hey, this is a game.
I think there's like a whole restaurant themed off of
Ed DeVivix in Chicago, Illinois.
Is
where
that
there's intentional
Dick's Last Resort's like that too.
Yeah.
there it is. That's what I was thinking
Yes.
about.
You have to go visit that.
Yeah,
I mean, I get treated like that and going other places. I don't want to pay someone to treat me like dirt.
It's like the anti-marketing restaurant.
Yes.
You know, I think it's very interesting. I want to throw this out there. I really want to get both of your thoughts on this, Jen, and then also Lynn, Jason, if you have any thoughts too. So we've been talking about customer and marketing avatars in who you want to attract, who you want to work with. As your business grows and matures, do you ever create avatars around who you don't want to work with? And how does that function in the business? I guess I'm wondering, Jen Thompson, any thoughts?
I think that I never have made an avatar for who I don't want to work with because my do want to work with is very specific and it automatically eliminates those people. I have, however, worked with somebody who intentionally in their qualifying process asks questions that are going to eliminate people. His question is, does bad grammar and bad punctuation irritate you? Because he knows that people who are picky about that are going to be picky about the way he runs his business and they will automatically eliminate themselves because he knows that those particular people that do that thing are not in good alignment with his business and they just kind of qualify them out the door and they don't maybe chase them around and they don't try to convert them. Mine is, have you done marketing before? Because if you haven't done marketing, just for me, chances are really good that you have unrealistic expectation about how marketing works. Like it's not a faucet. You don't just turn it on and all of a sudden people are lined up out your door waiting to do business with you. It actually is a lot of refinement and work and optimization, and it takes a minute. There is no magic bullet. Unless you have infinity money, you don't get infinity results. So as long as you're in a finite expenses, it does take time and it does take effort to really define who it is and then to scale it up. And so people who haven't done marketing very rarely understand that. They seem to believe if you turn it on, all of a sudden they're not going to have room in their lobby for everybody who's going to show up magically, and they have to do no conversion and they don't have to follow up with them at all. It's just magic. It's just you turn it on, magic happens, people appear. And the reality of the situation is that marketing is not like referrals. They don't close at 80%. You do have to do work to get them to do business with you, and it doesn't come in gangbusters. It actually builds up. And so that's my qualifier eliminator question. It doesn't mean I won't work with you if you haven't done marketing, but chances are good I'm going to vet you pretty hard to make sure your expectations are super realistic so that we don't have to have that push pull of I started 2 days ago and I don't have 100 new people at my door, because that's just not how it works. So is that a good answer to your question?
Yeah. I mean, you're telling me you're creating an avatar of who your ideal customer is, and you're making sure in your qualification process that you're kicking out the people you've identified you don't. I think that's absolutely genius. 100%.
Yeah, I like that, Jen. I also like how he did that as far as like the wording, and if, you know, so for me, like when I write stuff, my language is not to a T, right? So that's the last client that I want to work with, because they are so anal retentive over everything that it makes my life, you know, brutal. What I do with my clients, when I do EOS clients, I actually have them write me a letter back with specific grammar, specific font, specific how long I need them to write things. But then on top of that, they have to do a breakthrough session with me before I take them as an EOS client. And the reason why is because now I know that they are going to follow all of the direction that I tell them to where their company is actually going to run on systems and follow everything I say. But then on top of that, I'm also working with someone who doesn't have blocks mentally with going forward with their company. So now I know it's going to be 100% success.
Love it.
Yeah, and you guys wouldn't think, right? Like in dealing with customers, like something as trivial as that. When I hire people, I make them jump through hoops and follow directions like to a T. And if they don't follow the directions, I won't hire them, because it's important in my industry that you don't make mistakes. So you have to be able to read and understand what you need to do and then do it. So I do that similarly just for employees, not for people I work with, but employees. Like if you can't follow directions and they're like that, Jen, they're like very like, put this in the subject line. Make sure you include this and this. Use this particular software to record your voice recording, so on and so forth. I make them follow these directions and kind of jump through a little bit of hoops, because it just weans out the people that are going to kind of half-ass stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And not everyone deserves to work with you.
No.
That's the truth.
Oh, say that again louder for the people in the back.
Not everyone deserves to work with you. Put the boundaries up. Put some guardrails up. Your time is valuable. Following these practices helps you define the value you want to bring and the value you want to keep out.
Yeah, that one's important right there. That one right there is important. Jason or Lynn, you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about or dig into? Do you need help with anything?
No, I definitely fire people on the front end. Like we have an intake sheet here, and the girls will take it. Just we're talking amongst ourselves here, but like this guy's a dick. Okay, well, he's gonna get one quote, and it's probably not gonna be good, so he's gonna go somewhere else and shop. So I like, it's just don't ignore him, but listen, he's gonna get one quote, and he could take it or leave it, and that's it. We're not putting time and effort into this person. That's gonna be a time vampire on the back end where we end up losing money, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I first started, I went to Travelers, gave us it was a free seminar. They brought this speaker in, and it was a 2-day seminar. But the one thing, and I just started the company like 14 years ago, and the one thing I took away from it, I didn't get it at the time, but I got it shortly into my business. Opening this was there's going to be 4 or 5. If you let it happen, there will be 4 or 5 files or clients that are always on your desk, and they will take up a ton of your time. And if you get rid of those 4 or 5 clients, you're going to make room for 20 more, because you're going to have more time and you're going to be a lot happier. So that's what I learned. So firing clients. So we've gotten very good about firing clients. You got to master the art of telling people to go F themselves and not let them know it, right? Do it with a smile. Okay, all right, well, I appreciate your help. Well, I wasn't helping you. I was kicking you out the door because I don't want you here. You know what I mean? And that's a tough thing to do in business, because you don't want them to go and start talking on the street. You want them to leave your office, but you want them to leave with a smile so they don't badmouth you to everybody, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the 80-20 rule, right?
Yeah, it is. And the best thing I do with some of those clients is I will actually refer them to somebody else. So then that way,
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that way they have somebody to go to, and it's almost like you're helping them. You know, I think this person would better fit what you need. You know,
Yeah, there's a couple agencies that I don't like that I'd refer those clients to. That's
There
a
you
good
go.
idea.
That's what I was gonna say. Send them to the people you don't like.
Well, there's also, guys, there are a group of people that enjoy that interaction. It like makes them feel good that somebody wants that attention and time. It just might not be you. Not every person is for everybody, but there's somebody for everybody.
Yeah,
And
that's
it may
true.
just not be you. And maybe you don't want to be in that relationship with them, but there could be somebody else that just like eats it up, that they have this person that needs them all the time and needs that attention and that time. Because some people thrive in that environment for whatever reason. They like it and they enjoy it and it makes them happy. So don't even think of it as being like, a tool to somebody you don't like. It's just maybe somebody else is a better fit for your personality and they enjoy that amount of time suck. Because some people really do like it. Jen runs into these people all the time. It feeds their ego. It makes them feel good. They like to be needed that much. Yeah.
It's a lot of conditioning they've had mentally.
Yes, that. Yes, that. So,
Very much so. Yeah.
and for everybody's reference, Lynn also has a job, but she also does, is it two different MLM things that she's very successful in. And so she's juggling. Her time is very, 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 very important to her because she's juggling a full-time job and 2 other side gigs. So she can't live in that realm of time suck, really, I don't think, because she has like a million things going on, a couple dogs, a daughter, like all kinds of things.
Yeah, that's for sure. I wish I had more time every day. And never get my to-do list done ever.
Why don't you make time then?
Huh?
Time then.
You can do that.
Oh, you could do that.
You can do that. You have a little bit of conflicting energy towards that, huh? But I can't. I want it, but I can't.
I do. I actually, I felt guilty that I did it, but Sunday I made some time for me. I had things I was supposed to do, and I got out and had lunch with friends, and it turned into an all-day extravaganza. And the next day I went, oh crap, I didn't do any of the stuff I was supposed to do. But you know what? I deserved a day off. So
You mean you allowed yourself to be a human being, not a human doing?
I did.
Ask yourself why you have guilt around it. That is crucial.
Facts.
Why do you have guilt around something that you should be doing? So you're shooting all over yourself.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. I don't know why I have guilt. I don't know. I feel like I wasted time.
Why? Having fun for yourself?
Yeah. I wasted time that I should have been accomplishing something.
What if you, and I retract the statement as I say it, passed away tomorrow and you got things done, but you didn't enjoy your time?
That is very true. And I have started to realize that more and more. So the guilt is getting less.
So can I explain something? When you get rid of guilt and you start doing things for yourself, all of the stuff that you want in life will start to align and attract exactly the way it should.
That's deep. I like that though.
Just don't worry, you're about to get genned.
No,
I smell, guys, there's so many good master classes coming out of this session right now.
I know.
I feel it. I hear some imposter syndrome. I see some time making.
Hang tight 1 second. I'm going to wrap this up, this avatar thing. We'll stay here, though. Stay here. I'm just going to wrap up the stream before we get too off track. Any more questions about avatars or anything like that? If everybody's complete on that, I'm going to end the stream, but we can stay here and keep talking, okay? All right. Well, that signs off for the avatar thing. If there's anything you want to talk about or know more about, drop it in the chat. Drop it on our Facebook group. Let us know. Thank you all for coming today and have a great day.